Hey everybody, welcome back to another Motivation Monday podcast for Monday, December 16th, 2019. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're getting into the holiday spirit. We are going to continue with part 3 of our holiday gift guide for 2019. And this week is going to be all about the best apps that I have found or been using that I found a long time ago in 2019. Apps are such a fantastic tool for musicians. You know, we've got this thing with us wherever we go, which is our cell phone, which means that we can take a lot of tools with us wherever we go and kind of never be without something that we can do to practice. And, you used to have to lug a whole bunch of different tools around with you, a tuner, a metronome, a bunch of CDs, all that kind of stuff. And now it's just this one device that you can keep in your pocket that basically has all of those things on it. Pretty wonderful thing, as annoying as smartphones can sometimes be, and as much time as we can waste on them. There's also some really, really fantastic things that we can gain from this amazing technology in our pockets. So let's go through some of the apps. So I'm going to start with the old standby that if you do not have yet, this is an absolute must that every single jazz musician has to have on their smartphone, and that is iReal Pro. You just got to have it. It's a play-along tool. It's a tool for learning chord progressions. You can change keys on the fly. There are so many things you can do on this app that you have to have it. I'm guessing that probably upwards of 70% of you out there already own this app, but I could not do an episode on applications without mentioning iReal Pro. Make sure you have it. All right. The second one that I have spoken about before on this podcast, but I want to reiterate, the one that I use the most is Drum Genius. So if you missed that episode, Drum Genius is this really cool app that a drummer came out with where he basically recorded loops of all these different styles, all these different tempos, a lot of the most famous grooves in jazz history. He's recorded them and made loops. And if you get sick of using a metronome, or you want to maybe write some music and find a new groove to write some music to, so many different applications for this particular application. Yeah, I just realized what I said, but it is true. Drum Genius is one of the best apps that I've ever owned. I use it on a daily basis. I use it in my own practicing. I use it with all my students. It is just fantastic. So much more fun than playing with a metronome. So you got to get your hands on Drum Genius today if you don't have it. Extremely affordable as well. All right, and then the actual metronome app. The one that I use is called Pro Metronome, and I really like Pro Metronome because it sort of reminds me of the old school metronomes that I grew up with. It has extremely intuitive controls, and it has a really, really powerful interface where you can do things like change the time signature you're playing in. You can have it accent the downbeat. You can do a whole bunch of different subdivisions. You can actually save tempos so that if you need to count off tunes on stage and you're not really sure, you can go into your saved tempos and click on one for a particular tune. This app is just awesome. As far as metronome apps go, I do think that this is the best one to have in your arsenal. So that one's called Pro Metronome. Now, there are also a couple of ear training apps that I use, but my favorite one by far is called Perfect Ear. And I'm not sure if this one is Android only or if it also exists on iOS, but I'm an Android person, so this is the one that I use on my phone. And talk about a lot of exercises that you can customize for exactly what you want to get good at. Certain things when it comes to ear training are very situation dependent. Like some weeks I want to practice, hearing chord progressions. Other weeks I want to practice my intervals. Other weeks I want to practice some melodic dictation, playing a melody and then singing it back or recognizing the intervals in it. And this app really does all of that. So I really, really appreciate the Perfect Ear training app. Go out and check that one out today. Now, my next one is going to be another one that I've mentioned before on the show. That's not specifically music or jazz related, but I do think gives me a really important tool that does help me with my music and my practicing and everything like that, and that's Evernote. I really appreciate this app because it allows me to do a number of things. So first of all, it allows me to really keep track of everything that I'm doing. It just allows me to organize my thoughts and my routine in such a way that I have some continuity in my practicing. The second thing that's really cool is there's like a voice recorder built right into the app. So it's really easy to record myself playing whatever I'm working on and listen back to it critically, take notes on what I think about the recording that I'm listening to while I'm listening to it. It's a great tool for composition because I can write down some chord progressions that I've come up with or record a melody and then write myself some suggestions in there all at the same time. So just as an a multifaceted organizational tool when it comes to music and my life, frankly, I think that you can't really beat Evernote. And the really cool thing is that it syncs across all my devices. So no matter what, if I'm on my computer or my laptop or my phone or on a tablet or whatever, I have all that information at my fingertips, and that's another fantastic thing. I do also carry around just like a regular old notebook, but Evernote is really cool for the ability to record and take pictures and all that kind of stuff and keep all those files sort of in one place where I have access to them everywhere. So that's it. Those are my apps. I think those are my most important apps, the apps that I literally touch every single day in my life as a musician. And I think that all of you out there that take the time and care enough about music to listen to this podcast every week would be really well served to have this, 4 or 5 apps that I've just mentioned on this show available to you at all times. I really, truly believe that it will benefit you in a lot of different ways. But leave me some more suggestions. These were a lot of the suggestions that other people had also left on our post in the 10-Minute Jazz Lesson Community Facebook group. So I'm covering a lot of ground that people also out there use on a regular basis. And hopefully I gave you some new ideas, maybe some stuff that you had never heard of before, apps to go out there and get. All right. Hopefully your holiday season is going really, really nicely. We really wish you nothing but the best here at the 10-Minute Jazz Lesson Podcast. Hopefully these episodes have been helpful and maybe you can put this on your Christmas list or, hey, go out there and treat yourself to one of these apps because you know you're going to use it. We'll see you on Friday with a regular episode. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.